As is customary, the new financial year has kicked off in a more subdued manner. After the big run we had in June, our total monthly sales in July were $3.7 billion, some $730 million less than last month, but still the result was $412 million higher than the July 16 figure, which we all know was a quieter month considering the Australian federal election was held then. Our market share is steady at 10.7% year on year. While stock continues to be extremely tight in some markets, overall new listings are up 7.7% year on year. We held nearly 2,200 auctions across the group in July, well up, 43% up on last year. And clearance rates remain high and demand continues to outweigh supply in many of our markets, with the exception of Western Australia, which remains a buyer's market. In terms of the detail, the powerhouse state of New South Wales reported $1.1 billion in gross sales, which was in fact 24% higher than last year. Our core city business at New South Wales Blue booked $436 million, New South Wales Metro reported $355 million, and New South Wales Regional was up fractionally on last year at $292 million. But the standout of all our markets for the month was Victoria, which came in at $670 million, its best July ever. Year-on-year sales in Victoria shot up a whopping 52%. Our Victorian CEO, Dominic Belfiore, put the lift down to increased first home buyer activity, sparked by stamp duty incentives, coming into effect on the 1st of July. Plus, investment buyers remain strong. Consumer confidence continues to be excellent right across Victoria, with demand far outweighing supply. Queensland posted a 10% rise at $727 million, while West Australia reported $74 million. Interestingly, with many of our members noting that they'd successfully negotiated transactions at prices rejected by vendors 3 or 4 months earlier, indicating that prices may be stabilising. South Australia again logged a solid result at $104 million. New Zealand reported lower than expected figures of $612 million. New Zealand Chief Executive Kerry Smith says the continuing restrictions on loan valuation ratios, enforcing an increased threshold for deposits, have dampened the investment market. An election lull may also have an impact, as the national New Zealand poll has been called for September 23rd, and recent political leadership changes in New Zealand has caused some uncertainty in the broader economy. But in good news, Ray White New Zealand has been confirmed as a preferred agent for the New Zealand block, which will see us auction 4 homes in September. And congratulations also to Kerry Smith for his nomination as a finalist in the 2017 Ernst & Young New Zealand Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Our partners at Loan Market logged $951 million of loans for approval in July, which was consistent with the prior year, though loan settlements jumped 10%, well over $750 million, driven largely by activity in Victoria and New South Wales. A highlight of our annual calendar occurred during the month when we hosted our 3rd Leadership Academy for our corporate teams and our business owners. It was again led by Professor Boris Grossberg of the Harvard Business School. The workshop delivered a world-class education by offering a global perspective on leadership skills and best practice. We were absolutely delighted with the overwhelming response from attendees on the impact it had on them and the way they approach their sacred roles as leaders. Professor Grossberg noted how well the results of our business leaders compared to worldwide service industry benchmarks. Our Leadership Academy was followed up by our Cutting Edge Conference for business owners, who heard about the importance of internal dialogue and external inspiration. Highlights included Megan Jaffe from Remuera speaking to Jason Andrew about the importance of building teams, and the new recognition status for elites in 2017 for those that embrace our customer experience program. Effective recruitment is always at the heart of our strong growth across the network, and July was a huge month for new business owners. It was great to see John Timon and John Parks from Tugun open their 2nd office in Elanora on the southern end of the Gold Coast. Springwood owners Lindsay Batley and Michael Lansky also decided to expand next door into Daisy Hill in Brisbane. There's been a tremendously stylish handover in South Brisbane, which saw Ray White veteran Dean Yesberg hand the reins to Luke Croft, and Dean will continue to own Brisbane CBD. On the Central Coast, we welcomed Ian Boyle and Kathy Burnside, who have opened in Berkeley Vale, In Western Sydney, we welcome Fong Nguyen, who opened in Canley Heights. It's also fantastic to welcome a new rural office in Tumbarumba, which is halfway between Sydney and Melbourne, owned by Melissa Melly. Another busy month for our marketing team, and there's now over 100 rural country stock images available for anyone in the network to use if they're marketing an acreage or rural style property. And in terms of media relations, we achieved a record $15 million worth of editorial mentions across print, radio, online and TV news nationally, providing great value for our vendor customers. So we are well underway in the new financial year. It promises to be a fascinating 12 months. I'm looking forward to our state awards ceremonies, which kick off this month, when we have the great privilege of recognising the finest achievements right across our network. Until next month, thank you. I'm Dan White.